I can't even do it. I sound like a wild bull. Just a rabid cow. So, Predator Badlands. If you saw my out of theater reaction last night, you know exactly my thoughts on it. But let's scale it back a bit. By the way, no, I am not filming this on a Nokia phone, as someone kind of put it. This is just the webcam. This really, it's not as blurry as you would think. This color wall, I really got to remember to start doing these back upstairs where I didn't have to deal with the wall. The color of the wall is like distorting the pixelation in the behind me, so it does give a blurrier effect. Plus, the lighting's a bit of a shit show in here. But regardless, my history with the actual Predator films. The first one has always been my favorite one. And I think most people agree, it is the best of the lot. There are people who like the second one more, to each their own. But yeah, that's classic man versus alien. And the ouches, that reveal, you one ugly motherfucker. Like, it's great. Predator 2, I do enjoy Predator 2. I think it gets a bit of a bad rap. And Donald Glover is Danny Glover was an interesting choice to be an action hero. Like, and obviously then he goes on to do the Lethal Weapons. But he's not the typical action hero type. In fact, I think he probably falls more into a Harrison Ford, a guy who was in shape but clearly a bit more over the hill. Grant, young Harrison Ford doesn't qualify for that. But regardless, I still like it. Expands more on the Yautja. That ending's great. Then we get into the Alien versus Predator. The first one's not bad, especially if you get the unrated version. But it was the example of, this would be cool, and you can get away with a PG-13 if you weren't killing so many humans. Like, so many really bloodless deaths and all that. I mean, they pushed the PG-13 involving human deaths, I think, as well as they could, but still, it's still got a lot of fun to it. I enjoy it. Requiem, the best parts of the movie are the Alien and Predator scenes, which are only about 20 minutes worth of the movie, and even then, it's extremely dark. The rest of it is just a really, really, really shitty after school, like Dawson's Creek type bullshit, rated R, and just the longer I've sat with that movie, the stupider it got. Then you get Predators, which is pretty good. I like Predator. I own Predators. That's a pretty good movie. Again, we're kind of expanding on the lore. We get a lot of actors who would go on to have a lot bigger careers. And then you go, and beyond that, you get some cool shots. The samurai versus the Yakuza with the samurai sword versus a Predator. That's freaking awesome. The Topher Grace thing, admittedly, was kind of stupid, but not stupid. Fell off, and then they make him a serial killer. It's like, okay, I get it, but it doesn't quite work for the movie they made. And then you got The Predator, which I saw the one time. And I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. It is very problematic in terms of plot, in terms of concept. Like, there's just, there's just a lot going on. I mean, the concept of a super predator that's like adapting its DNA to be a better hunter is interesting, but not utilized right when they view, like, oh yes, no, your son who's autistic, he is what I want to add on there. It's like, wait, what? I mean, I get the idea of autism not being a weakness, and maybe even having some benefits, like, the hyper analytical, like, what views some autistic people have. But what? Like, you really think you're going to be able to just take the best parts of what this kid has and then just put and not have any of the negative side effects he has? Okay, sure. Anywho, and then we had Prey, which was really good. Really went back to the original Predator roots a little bit. And then we had Killer and Killers, which was a really good continuation. So, 5 minutes in, my thoughts on this one. This is, I think, the best. What's the best way to put it? This is the best way you can utilize a PG-13 with a Predator movie, or an Alien movie for that matter. Honestly, any Alien movie really should remain R. I really don't think you can make a proper Alien movie, given the body horror and gore and just stuff that goes with that, franchise, into a PG-13. But the Predator movies you can do, provided that the gore you show on screen isn't human gore. Every kill we get is either an alien or synthetic. There are no human characters in this movie. You basically get Elle Fanning and the main actor, who is Demetrius Kolomatangi? Demetrius, who plays Deck, the main Predator. There are obviously a couple other actors or performers in the movie. The ones who play the actor who plays the other synth, not Elle Fanning, and who's playing a dual role, but the other synths working along with Elle Fanning. And obviously, someone's clearly playing Deck's father and brother as well. But beyond that, like, there's really no one else in the movie. This is Deck's story. Deck, the whole idea is he is an anomaly among his kind. There's something off about him, which they never fully say what's off with him. But the implication seems to be that he's the runt of the litter. He's small compared to other predators. He's more closer to an actual human size. He's still a brick shithouse compared to us. But to other predators, he is actually on the weaker side, physically or whatnot. There seems to be some sort of deficiency, as they describe, with him. And so it's his whole quest to just prove himself. But also beyond that, and there's this clip is online, so there's no big spoiler here. His father does not want him. His father wants him dead, and in his eyes, he has to redeem himself to him, honor his brother, and that's where his quest leads him, to this planet Jenna, I think it is, where he's trying to capture this unkillable creature, like there's something that even his father, a seasoned Yautja, which, by the by, I love the fact that his elder Yautja father has white dreads, and even does in fact grow. Apparently, they do in fact grow hair. Yautja. He has a little bit of a beard under his mandibles. But that's his whole quest, and along the way he meets Elle Fanning's character, Thea, is it? Or no, Thea, and then and she obviously she got ripped apart by something, and it's this fun buddy cop road trip thing. Along the way, there is another character that kind of shows up, that kind of joins up a little bit, but it's not. I can't say too much without giving spoilers. It's not conventional, and there's a twist with that character I didn't see coming. And then I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, that does kind of make some sense. But yeah, honestly, I described it in my out of the theater reaction, my out of the theater review. But the world definitely feels like the Pandora's asshole, if you will, the less pretty but still very vibrant of life version of Pandora, where like the wildlife and fauna are so unique but also all dangerous. Even like the plants themselves, they're like you see in the trailers, these snake-like tentacles. Like, it's unclear whether or not these are actual animals that look like plants or plants that are seen to be behaving like animals. So it's not completely clear on that, but they're dangerous. There's a moment where he sees an animal he's going to eat and he's going to try to get it, but then it's like, oh no, razor grass. It's literally glass that has like the strength of like a razor blade, like a metal razor blade. I was like, okay, he's got to figure that out. Like the plants that fire like needles. There's one this movie's also got a fair bit of humor to it too. It's not a comedy, but it's got enough levity to it that really helps break out some tension occasionally happens, or keeps it from feeling just bland. There's one scene where like he finds this caterpillar, it starts to like bubble up, he tosses it, and it literally explodes. And he just goes, like that's not even phasing him. He's just like, okay, gotta stay away from that. And I like I like this dynamic between Elle Fanning's Thea and Deck. Deck can understand human, but but it's pretty simple why he can understand human. Honestly, it has to do with the fact she's a synth. There's a universal translator thing going on here, and that's why they're able to understand. She speaks what we think is human. He's hearing it as Yautja, we hear it as human. That's basically it. I don't know why it's like there needs to be a big, heavy spoiler warning on that. It's basic reason they can communicate with each other. So So I do like their dynamic because she is very outgoing and friendly, but there's also a reason to why she's doing things, and then ultimately where their relationship ultimately ends up. I by the way, there's no way I think we'd ever see like a Yautja human romance, let alone a Yautja synth romance. But and yeah, it does not. There's no romantic tension with it. She's artificial, but is it weird to say you could kind of see it a little bit? Like if they hypothetically made a sequel and she's actually experiencing feelings for him and somehow he's experienced feelings for her, I don't think that's a weird way to explore it, because she isn't human. So it's like, all right, well, cool. Like I don't know. I like all the action is fantastic. They really do a lot with again expanding the lore of the Yautja, showing them as warriors, not just hunters. But also showing like their tech and the capabilities. He effectively has a lightsaber for a weapon. It's not truly a lightsaber. It is a straight blade, but it's also got a superheated edge. So it cuts through nearly everything that he comes across. So he gets some badass moments with that thing. And he ultimately does find the creature he's looking for. And let me tell you, I was wondering because they make a point to say even Father fears this thing. I'm like, really? Okay. Like we've seen a decent chunk of it throughout the movie or throughout the trailers. Not like a full shot of it though. And then we see a full shot of it. It's this cool mix of like a monkey, a cat, a dragon with like spines on its back. And I'm looking at this like, okay, cool. And as he's fighting him, like, all right, okay. I'm like, it's big, it's powerful. What makes this thing? It's not durable enough to take a hit. It can to take a hit. So what makes this thing so dangerous? And then they show why it's called the unkillable thing. I'm like, oh, yeah. Any hunter worth their salt being able to bring this thing down would be crowned pretty much the ultimate predator. Like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing now. Which admittedly made something to happen later, made me go, wait, so that's it? Oh, okay. Well, but I'm thinking on the rationale of why it happened. Like, given what was going on, that's probably how that would go down. There is no. I would say there is probably there is an antagonist in the movie. There is a villain, if you will. Like, Utani is never a good guy, so when they show up, you know they're at least somewhat antagonistic. But yeah, there's technically two fronts. There is the father, who is not a good individual because of their culture and clan. And then there's the Utani Corp. And both villain sides work for the movie. One is a little bit more present than the other. And when the deck has to go up against the Utani, like, synths and stuff like that, oh my god, I loved the way he did it. Oh, it's so awesome. So yeah, and it ends on a fantastic note. Like I said, there's no post-credit scene, but there's the end of the film. There's a little like Predator Badlands, and then there's like a follow-up scene. Because I had heard the last line of the movie is fantastic. Deck's last line is like that's one of the best lines you can have at the end of a movie. I'm like, okay, and then you're like, oh well, really? That was it? And then it continued for a brief moment, and then they said the line. I'm like, yup, okay, I get it now. Man, this is just a fun, good time at the box office. It's a good time at the movies, man, which is something we've really been needing. We've been needing a movie that's just a fun time to go to. It's PG-13, so you can take the kids to it. You honestly don't even need to watch the original Predator. None of the Predator movies you need to watch to follow this. Does it help? Sure. Does it even give more context to some of the things going on in the Predator movies? Yeah, a little bit. But do you need to watch them? No. I would say you probably don't need to watch them. So it's got a lot of fun alien gore, good action, some good characters to them. There's some heart in there. There's some laughs. There's some genuine tension. There's some horror elements. Like, it's kind of got a full package here. Is it a perfect movie? No, but is it perfect for what it needs to kind of be? Yeah, I'd say that. So with that said, any trailers I can remember. Running Man, we got the Running Man again. I'm looking forward to the Running Man. I really am. Now You See Me, I don't believe we got that one, but maybe we did. We got Now We See Me, Now You See Me. Avatar, obviously. Five Nights at Freddy's, nose trailer. Crime 101 and The Bride as well. Crime 101 is with Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Halle Berry. So you got Hulk, Thor, and Storm in one movie together. He's kind of just like a career criminal. And yeah. And I mean, it looks good. I feel bad Chris Hemsworth, who is a good actor, hasn't really had a breakout role since Thor. Not a breakout role, but just a movie that he's been in that's done effectively, that's done well at the box office since any of the Thor or Avenger movies. But still, he's a good actor, and so is Halle Berry and Mark Ruffalo. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Are you gonna go see this based on my review? Have you seen it yet? Let me know. And what did you think? Till then, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.